Source: Infinite Stratos Season 1. Hi guys and welcome back to AniRecapz, presented by Anime Beta. Subscribe and like for more quality contents. Ichika Orimura is a normal teenager boy who just enrolled in high school, which happens to be the famed Infinite Stratos Academy, an all-female educational institute to teach the students to operate the multi-purpose exoskeletons called Infinite Stratos. In adverse of what normal boys would find paradise, Ichika finds himself very discomforted being the center of attention in a girls-only class. He is the only male student in this entire school academy. He glanced nervously at his childhood friend Hoki, but she looked away, making our main character feel all awkward. She was mad because Hoki didn't say anything after meeting him for the first time after 6 years. His assistant homeroom teacher, Maya, started the class instruction. Our dumb main character introduces himself, but felt like he had more to say since all the girls were staring at her. He panics and randomly says, "That is all," making everybody fall for his idiocy. Suddenly, Ishika is punched on the head by Chifu, his older sister, and is punched a second time because she insists that he calls her Professor Orimura at school instead of their usual sibling greeting. Ichika tells the audience about Chifu's past. She's an international tournament champion and has a powerful Grandmaster title. But one day, she retires and becomes a teacher for this academy. Ichika never saw her at home, and he feels stupid for having worried about her. At the break, while everyone's talking about Ichika, Hoki asks for a moment with Ichika at the school's rooftop. Hoki is shy, blushing, and giving short answers to Ichika's questions. He congratulates her for winning the national kendo tournament last year, much to her surprise. Ichika then tells her that he's glad to see her again and that he still recognizes her, even though it's been 6 years. He compliments on how her hair is the same too, making our shy girl Hoki blush even more. Later in a lesson, Ichika seemed to be struggling with the course, so Maya cheerfully suggests that he ask any questions since she's her teacher. Ichika replied that he didn't understand anything, surprising Maya, so she asked the class if there is anybody else who does not get anything, which nobody responds. Chifu asks if Ishika has read the reference book before attending the IS Academy, which he says he accidentally threw it away. Chifu hits him on the head with a book and forces him to memorize another copy of the reference book in 1 week. During recess, while Ichika is daydreaming, an English girl named Cecilia Alcott approaches and attempts to engage in conversation with him. Much to her surprise and irritation, Ichika doesn't know anything about her. Cecilia then starts explaining about an IS representative cadet and boasting about how elite she is. Upon hearing that Ichika has also defeated an instructor at the entrance exam, Cecilia starts to get wild. But the bell rings, announcing the end of recess. In the afternoon, Ichika walks toward his dormitory and searches for his assigned room 1025. While he is stunned about the room's luxury design, he hears somebody finishing their shower. A female voice starts introducing herself and Ichika gets nervous. When the woman gets out of the bathroom wearing a towel, Ichika sees it was Hoki. Shocked, Hoki tells Ichika to look away. Ichika starts by explaining that he is assigned to this room and they might be roommates. Surprised, Hoki takes her shinai out and starts attacking Ichika, but he saved himself by getting out of the room and closed the door. Hoki pierces the door 6 times, however, only the 6th one was able to hit Ichika in the back. As he protests against Hoki, other girls wearing revealing pajamas come out of their rooms and start gathering around him. Freaked out, Ichika begs Hoki to be let into the room. Later, Hoki asks why are they roommates, which Ichika doesn't know. She starts blushing and asks if it's because Ichika asked the school staff for him to be assigned to the same room as her. But he jokes saying, why does she think that? She gets mad and starts attacking him. But when the other girls open the door to peek into the room, Hoki stops and closes it. She starts talking about room rules, mostly about bathroom hours. When Ichika says he'll use the public bathroom and starts thinking about the fact that the only females attend the IS Academy, Hoki calls him a pervert. As she's preparing herself to punish him with her shinai, Ichika grabs another one and starts swinging it, but a bra is stuck at its edge, making him asking, "What is this?" Shocked, Hoki snatches it. When Ichika says that she's at that age now, She hits him on the head with her shina and knocks him unconscious. The next morning at the cafeteria, Hoki seems to be in a cranky mood and tells Ichika to call her first name, not Hoki. When 3 other students and friends came to sit down besides Ichika and start talking to him, Hoki leaves. They asked about Ichika's relationship with Hoki, which he tells them that she's a childhood friend and that they went to the same kendo dojo when they were in 1st grade. Chifyu claps her hand and tells everybody to eat quickly. She reveals that she's the first-year dorm supervisor and that she'll make anybody run 10 laps around the training ground if they're late. In the classroom, Chifyu tells everybody to vote for a class representative for the interclass tournament in 2 weeks. 2 girls nominate Ichika, much to his surprise. Suddenly, Cecilia protests and says it's humiliating to have a man as a class rep. She then challenges Ichika to a duel. When he asks about how much of a handicap he should give her, the whole class laughs and says that men were only stronger than women before the IS, and that if men fought against women, the war wouldn't even last 3 days. Chifyu finally approves the duel and books it for next Monday in Arena 3. Ichika is told by Chifyu that he will be provided with his own personal IS for his match against Cecilia, a rarity since there are only 467. IS cores that were created by Tabani Shinono before she disappeared. Relieved, Cecilia says it wouldn't be fair if she fought with her personal unit and if Ichika was stuck with a training one. A classmate then asks Chifyu if Tabani is related to Hoki, which the teacher answers they are sisters. As the whole class is shocked and starts bombing Hoki with questions, the latter snaps back by saying that Tabani has nothing to with her and that she has nothing to tell the class about her sister. Maya then starts teaching, telling the class to try to think of the IES as a partner instead of a machine. A student then asks Maya if, by partner, did Maya mean like a boyfriend, prompting Maya to blush and act nervously, stating that she doesn't really know, since she doesn't have experience with men, making the class comment on her cuteness. During the lunch break, Ichika proposes Hoki to go grab some lunch, but she doesn't feel like it. He even invites Hame and her friends to come along. When Ichika grabbed Hoki's arm, the latter pushed him and he trips on the floor, much to her surprise on how weak Ichika is. Scared, the 3 friends fade out saying that they will pass. Ichika stands up and decides to pull Hoki by her hand anyway to go grab lunch. Hoki blushes looking at their hands. In the cafeteria, Ichika explains that he tries to be considerate because it's Hoki. Her family took care of him in the past. They've been friends since they were kids, and they even went to the same dojo. He wants Hoki to let him at least do this much for her. As they eat, Ichika asks if Hoki can help him about the Ayas and that he's going to lose horribly against Cecilia like that. She replies in a denying manner. That's because he lets Cecilia provoke him. A 3rd-year student comes and proposes to help Ichika for the Ayas training, but Hoki replies that she'll train him instead, much to Ichika's surprise. The senior student says Hoki's just a 1st year, and that she, a 3rd year, would be more suited to teach him. Hoki snaps back that she's Tabane's younger sister, shocking the senior student as she leaves. In the IS Academy's dojo, Hoki easily defeats Ichika. She asks angrily why did Ichika become so weak after 6 years. Hoki decides to train him 3 hours every day after school to fix it before he can pilot an infinite Stratos. In the locker room, Hoki isn't sure if she was too harsh on Ichika, but is sure that he hasn't touched a sword in at least a year. Upon thinking that she'll be alone with Ichika after school, she blushes, but shakes her head and tells herself she wasn't thinking of that. 1 week later, in the battle arena's waiting room, while Ichika and Hoki are arguing about the past week's kendo training, Maya announces to them that Ichika's IS has arrived, the Byakushiki. She then explains the IES's absolute barrier system, which puts the IES pilot's safety at first priority. Upon touching the Byakushiki, Ichika gets the same feeling of understanding the machine without studying it as back in the time at the IES entrance exam. He then flies out to the arena. Cecilia is waiting for him in the air with her blue tears, saying that if he apologizes now, she might consider forgiving him, but he refuses. As Ichika's shield is being destroyed by Cecilia's sniper, he takes off a blade and makes his way towards his opponent, while dodging her snipers. While they're fighting, Maya commented on how amazing Ichika can operate in IS even if it's his first time. Upon Shifuyu saying about Ichika's habit to clench his left hand, meaning he'll make simple mistakes, Maya comments on Shifuyu's observation as an older sister. When Cecilia tricks Ichika that she has more than 4 weapons and fires 2 bombs. He is unable to dodge and gets hit. Everyone is now worried, but Shifuyu says that he got saved by his unit. Everyone gets shocked to see Ichika's IS in another form, the first shift. While Cecilia is surprised that he's been fighting with the default settings the whole time, Ichika discovers his weapon, the Yukihira Type 2, the same sword his big sister Shifuyu used. Praising his sister, Ichika decides that it's time to stop being the one who gets protected and that from now on, he'll be the one protecting his family. As he easily dodges and cuts down Cecilia's bombs and is on the verge of striking her, the match announcer declares Cecilia winner, much to everybody's surprise. Later, after Ichika incomprehensibly loses against Cecilia, Maya explains that Ichika lost because his shield energy was depleted and that a barrier-neutralizing attack deals damage at the cost of his shield. She then says that Ichika's IS is currently on standby. During the walk back at their dormitories, Hoki asks Ichika if it is okay if she trains him. He replies that it is easier than having another girl teach him, and since Hoki is Tabani's sister, she knows more about piloting IES than anybody else. Hoki blushes and tells Ichika to clear his schedule starting from tomorrow onward, while giggling by herself, which Ichika doesn't understand since he is a dumb anime MC who is way denser than Black Hole. The next day, during the morning training session, Shifuyu tells Ichika and Cecilia to do several demonstrations, such as the nosedive, in which Ichika fails miserably by crashing the ground, making all the cute innocent girls who desires him panic. Ichika notices a shift in Cecilia's state as she seems to be fawning all over him, but his childhood friend Hoki gets jealous and argues with her. Later in the afternoon, Class 1 threw a party for Ichika's class rep election. All the girls congratulated him warmly, causing Hoki to say how popular he has become with the girls, as they all flocks around him at any time. Then, the second-year vice president of the newspaper club Koruko Mayuzumi appears. She interviews Ichika and Cecilia with embarrassing questions. When comes the time to take the picture, supposedly to only have Ichika and Cecilia in the frame, everyone jumped in for the shot, making our QB Cecilia get angry. Later on in room 1025, Hoki unleashes her jealousy that built up during the day, indirectly by throwing a pillow to Ichika when he was resting. The latter questioned about her weird actions, but Hoki tells him to turn around so she can change. While he looked away, the sounds of Hoki's undressing made him blush. When she got done and Ichika turned back, he noticed her new clothes, causing her to feel happy that he has sharp eyes. Ichika responds that it's nothing since he sees her every day, making Hoki feel even happier, saying to herself that Ichika watches her every day. Upon turning the lights off, Hoki apologizes for throwing the pillow, in which Ichika replied that he didn't mind. They then go to sleep. Ichika recalls a dream about a certain promise in the past with a certain girl. The next day, rumors spread about a transfer student in Class 2 who is a cadet representative of China that also became the class representative. Ichika takes a slight interest into the subject, causing Hoki and Cecilia to yell at him to focus on the Takehausen next month and that he has no time for girls. Suddenly, a young, petite teenage girl with light brown hair enters the class and introduced herself as Lingjing Huang, Ren for short, which Ichika instantly recognizes. Rin and Ichika are having their reunion conversation in the cafeteria, but Hoki and Cecilia interrupts them with suspicious relationship-related questions, making Rin all blushed. Ichika explains to them that she's one of his childhood friends, second to Hoki. Yes, boys, she is our third heroine girl on this series. Rin then proposes to help Ichika about piloting Infinite Stratos, but Hoki, being all irritated, refuses. Since teaching Ichika is her job, and Cecilia replied that Rin's from Class 2. To provoke them, Rin adds that Ichika used to have meals at her place. They stares at Ichika, which he replies saying he used to eat at Rin's parents' restaurant, relieving Hoki and Cecilia. Rin leaves and tells Ichika that she'll see him after school. At the IS practice, Ichika is surprised that Hoki has a training Infinite Stratos. As she prepares to strike Ichika, Cecilia jumps in, making 2 against 1. After the training, MC seems to be exhausted being outnumbered. Later, Run appears, gives Ichika a towel and a cold drink. It seems that she was waiting for him to finish his training. She whispers to herself, saying how they are finally alone together, and blushes a little. As she resumes her talking with Ichika, with romantic intentions, Ichika gets up saying it's time to go, since Hoki will be out of shower soon, which made Rin curious. Upon learning that Ichika and Hoki are living in the same dorm room, and Ichika labeled her as first childhood friend, she gets irritated. Rin then goes to their room and tells Hoki to switch rooms, since she must be tried living with a boy. Plus, it's okay for Rin since she's his childhood friend. Talk about being an overly demanding tsundere. Anyway, so, her hypocritical words makes Hoki mad, and they both argues. Rin then challenges our MC, Ichika, on a duel. The next day on Duel, Ichika and Rin battles in the Interclass IS tournament. But soon their match gets interrupted on midway, when a mysterious IS attacks the arena. As Ichika and Rin hold off the IS so the audience can escape, Ichika saves Rin from a dangerous beam attack. Its attack output damage was way bigger than what Rin's IS can absorb. Ichika carries Rin like a princess, which causes her to blush and act more and more tsundere, calling Ichika baka 1,000,000 times. He soon notices how the IS feels like an unmanned drone, due to its machine-like movement. Ichika asks Rin if that's even possible, to which Rin replies saying no. His homeroom teacher, Big Sister, and the other girls are deeply worried for him. His big sister says how she has already alerted the government about this attack and the help is on its way soon. But the girls were too worried for him and wants to go there to help him now. Ichika then gets serious to fight it, since it's not piloted by a human. He asks Rin to trust him and attack on his back, to which she does, acting all tsundere again. His IS gets fully charged from Rin's attack, and he releases his OP Kirito-ish powers, after taking it down together with Cecilia and Rin. The IS gets up and injures Ichika by blasting a beam, which happened too fast. The scene then changes to Ichika lying on bed. As Rin tries to take advantage of the situation to kiss him, he gets up, making Rin panic, since she was really close to kissing him. Rin then tells him how everything was fine after that, as he is the only one who was injured. Then they both starts talking about their childhood. She moved into Ichika's neighborhood, soon after Hoki's family moved out. Her family used to run a Chinese restaurant, which Ichika visited frequently. During this time, Chifu spent most of the time outside working, due to her prominence as an IS pilot, and Ichika always goes out to eat ramen because of that. Due to her nationality, Rin became a frequent target for pranks. She also seems to have developed a crush on Ichika, when he helped her by fighting against a group of kids, bullying her at school. She made a promise with Ichika to take her as a wife when she gets better at cooking. It seems like our dumb MC didn't understand that as a confession. He thought she just wants to cook good meals. She then fills up what happens after she moved back to China. During early 3rd grade of junior high, her parents got divorced. Later, she got selected as a potential representative by the government, and now she's here on the IS Academy. The girls then walks in saying how Rin and Cecilia were cheating, as they promised to not meet Ichika secretly. They all then argues and gets mad at each other. Typical harem anime. After that, behind the scenes, Ichika's big sister and the homeroom teacher seems to be running some serious tests on that unmanned IS drone. It seems that the drone do not have that IS cores that currently exists within all the created Infinite Stratos. There's only 467 IS units in existence, so question who created this drone. They both stays in suspense. Few days later, Ichika goes to his best friend's house to play some video games with him. His name is Dan. He says that Ichika must be having a great time at the academy, being surrounded by the girls there. Ichika says that's not true, which Dan retorted that he's lying, saying that just reading his email makes him imagine of paradise. Ichika calls Dan an idiot, but is glad that Rin transferred over as he had very few friends to talk to. Suddenly, the door crashes open, due to Dan's sister, Ran, kicking the door open. She starts saying that lunch is ready. But when she sees Ichika, she suddenly gets all nervous. Ichika smiles and apologizes for the sudden visit. Ran stood at the door staring at him for a while before looking at her own attire, which was a loose top and unzipped shorts, which was showing a bit of her panties too. Being all embarrassed, Ran ducks behind the wall and tidies herself up before popping her head around the door asking, "Why is Ishika at their place?" He replies that he is currently on an off-campus vacation and that he decided to drop in to see his friend. As Ran nervously confirms, Dan offhandedly said that she should knock next time, otherwise people might consider her to be a shameless woman, only to be frightened by her angry expression and her fist, sporting the protruding nerve mark, while she asks why didn't he tell her about Ichika's arrival. He nervously says that it may have slipped his mind and gave a weak chuckle, while Ichika looks on puzzled. The next scene is at the restaurant where Ran is serving Ishika lunch. As he is tucking in, she nervously tells him to make himself at home. Ishika remarks that she has changed her clothing, looking very prime and proper, and asks if she is going out. When she tries to say that it is not, Ichika had a sudden notion that she is going out on a date, which she abruptly says that it is not. Seeing Ichika's expression, Dan, while drinking his tea, remarks that he must be acting the same way at school.
Black holes are one of the strangest things in existence. They don't seem to make any sense at all.
We'll continue the next part in next few days. Meanwhile, subscribe and enjoy our other contents posted in our channel. Until then, stay safe. Bye.